What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Grind Season 4, Episode 15. My name is Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
And wow, we have not been here for 2 weeks, and we finally have playoffs happening for both NBA and NHL. We'll be getting into that. And of course, MLB opening day is finally here. We're actually 2 weeks into opening day now in baseball. Well, it's been already interesting from the start. So we have that to talk about. A new MLB baseball team that's coming into Las Vegas. We'll be talking about that as well. So we have quite a bit to talk about. Last time we were here, opening day was just around the corner, and so it's finally here. So without further ado, let's kick off with MLB from last night and yesterday. Red Sox stunned the Twins 5-11 at Fenway. Man of the game was Alex Verdugo. And, you know, this guy, I think this is the one guy that really represents Boston. You know, this guy coming from the Yankees, coming from, you know, the Dodgers, and coming and really showing up with the Red Sox. This is definitely one of the greatest teams that he's played with. Yesterday, he had 2 hits, 1 home run, and 1 RBI. So what a good game for that guy. And as for Tanner Hewitt, he was on the mound, starting pitcher for the Red Sox. And now, what's your thoughts on Tanner Hewitt?
I think that he's a really solid pitcher. I think he makes some good pitches. He's got an interesting delivery. And I think he's a good pitcher for the Red Sox team.
Yeah, I think he's great. You know, not only that, but when you look at him play, I mean, wasn't he a reliever at some point?
Yeah, he started as a reliever.
Yeah, he started as a reliever. He developed that. You know, he got those reps in. He's only used to pitching 1 or 2 innings, but being able to get that start and pitch multiple innings and doing that good, I think it just means good for the Red Sox future when it comes to starting pitching. We now look at the Twins now. The Twins obviously did not show up in yesterday's game. I mean, I think they obviously did not step up. I mean, Joey Gallo, he didn't do anything. Carlos Correa didn't do anything. But let's just focus on Carlos Correa for a second. I mean, this guy was an absolute stud on the Astros, and really for years now he's been amazing. But ever since this season, we haven't been seeing a lot from him. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, Carlos Correa has had a really weird year. I mean, he was a free agent for the second time of his career. His first free agency, he signed with the Twins. He had a great year. He went back into free agency. But he had a tumultuous free agency. He signed with the Giants, failed physical. He signed with the Mets, failed physical. And then he re-signed with the Twins, and everyone was wondering how is his health. And he seems healthy, but he isn't producing right now, so it's a storyline to keep watching moving forward.
And it's only the beginning of the season, so we should be seeing more from Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that this guy is a stud. I mean, he's definitely still one of the greatest infielders in the game, especially in this season. So
definitely talented.
I think we have a lot still to see for Carlos Correa. Now, we look at the Yankees. They defeated the Angels 9-3. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, and especially with the Angels, we have a lot to talk about. But before we get into our top questions, I want to talk about the Yankees' record. Their record is 12-7. The Angels' record is 9-10. Again, they're not having another season that they want. You know, they keep going for it. They have these good players, but they don't show up. Logan O'Hoppe is now injured. He injured his left shoulder. This is an absolute good prospect. This is an absolute stud and a great prospect for the Angels. Seeing him injured, you know, it's bad to see as a fan, but I think he'll be back. So no worries right there. But the main question I have about the Angels is the Angels overrated? Are the Angels overrated? What's your thoughts?
I'm going to say they're not overrated, mostly because I just don't think that they were really that good to begin with. I mean, we know that they have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, which are the 2 of the best players in baseball, but do they really have anyone else besides those 2 guys? I mean, they're really top-heavy, up and down. I don't think they really have...
They have Max Stassi. They have Stassi.
Yeah, he's all right, but like...
Taylor Ward. I mean, they had some good guys that could show up.
But Anthony Rendon is struggling, and this is supposed to be a guy...
He's old. He's a veteran, so we got to give him a break.
Yeah, but he's on a big contract, though. He needs to perform a little bit more than he's doing. I just think that the Angels... I think that they need to blow it up. I think they need to trade Ohtani at the deadline, trade Trout at the deadline, blow it up, start over, move on with Logan O'Hoppe and all those guys, and just try to get a youth movement going. Because it's not working.
With what you're saying, forget about the playoffs then. If they actually do what you just said, they're not going to see the playoffs for like a decade. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, if they're not going to go to the playoffs with their 2 best players in baseball, how are they ever going to get to the playoffs?
They're wasting money. So what you're saying is that they're wasting money, and I get that. But I think they're overrated. I mean, they get looked at so much. I mean, everyone's like, Ohtani this, Trout that. Oh my God, Max Stassi, all these good guys, Anthony Rendon, Taylor Ward. They won't show up, you know. And
that's true.
And you know, Brandon Marsh got traded to Brandon Marsh? He got traded to the Phillies. Obviously, he didn't go anywhere with the Angels, and he did better when they let him go when he went to the Phillies. So I just think they are overrated, unlike you. I really think that
I think that's a good point, actually, thinking about it from that perspective, thinking like they are kind of overrated if they get talked about much if they're not winning. They are overrated in a sense.
Dude, that's all you hear about when you see a Yankees-Angels matchup. Oh, it's a great matchup. But then the Yankees beat them by like 7 runs. I mean, so
true.
It's like, what's the point?
That's true.
Dodgers own the Cubs in Chicago. Wow, shocking. I can't believe it. They beat the Cubs. And right now, as we're talking, they're now getting crushed. So it only was a matter of time. Dodgers are now second in NL West. What are the odds that the Arizona Diamondbacks are ahead of the Dodgers in the entire NL West? I mean, that is surprising.
That's nuts.
They won 5 in a row 2 weeks back. They are on a roll right now and well. The Arizona Diamondbacks, keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, the National League West has been very weak to start off the year. I mean, the Dodgers are second, and they're a 500 ball team. I mean, we expected them and the Padres and then the Giants to be a little bit good, but like the Diamondbacks in first place, that's something we didn't see coming.
Well, watch out, though, because Tatis did get called back to the Padres just 2 days ago, so I think the Padres are definitely going to be on the map. But ever since Tatis has been back into the starting lineup for the Padres, Dodger fans, including myself, watch out because we're going to be falling backwards if we can't, earn some runs. Cubs are third in the NL Central. They're up there, but they're not the greatest. James Outman and Max Muncy are the only guys that are carrying.
Stud.
Right.
He's a stud.
What are you going to say?
He's just a stud. He's just so good. And we mentioned on the last show that James Outman could be a really important piece for the Dodgers as a prospect. And look at what he's doing right now. If the season ended today, he's winning National League Rookie of the Year. That's how good James Outman is.
I know. MVP if the Dodgers can go far in the playoffs. Now, but yeah, James Outman and Max Muncy are the only guys that are carrying on this team. Without those guys, I'm pretty sure we'd be 4-10. Literally, don't prove me wrong. That would happen. He had 1 hit and a grand slam. And now we're going to shift gears from not only Dodgers, but now to the Cubs. Cody Bellinger is hitting a home run every single game against the Dodgers. This is crazy. Where has this Bellinger been when he was back with the Dodgers?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Where has he been? But maybe it was good for him to get a change of scenery. I mean, the Dodgers fans, which I have to give credit to you guys. I mean, you guys were harsh on him, but it was deserved. The guy was not doing well. He was not being the MVP he was in 2019. But, he needed to change the scenery to get a fresh head, a fresh mind, a new environment, and a place where he can thrive. And I think Chicago's the place for him to do that.
I think he's going to be on the Chicago Cubs for quite a while. I mean, he's a good fit. I think he's more of a fit on the Cubs than the Dodgers. I mean, if you're not going to show up in L.A., then don't play for L.A. at all. Yeah. So definitely. I think that's how it should be. And now we're going to take over to Mickey's Mets. Mets conquer the Giants 9-4, getting back up from that Mets-Dodgers series. Man of the game was Pete Alonso with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 1 walk. I mean, it's a mess for the Mets. I think they are better than the Dodgers. I think they're just that hit-or-miss team right now. But I would still have your hopes and faith on the Mets going far this season. Mets record is 13-7. Giants record is 6-12. Kodai Senga had 4 strikeouts, 4 hits, only allowing 4 walks. So a 4-4-4 game. What's your thoughts on Kodai Senga?
Yeah, but the most important one that you didn't mention was runs. He gave up 4 strikeouts, 4 hits, 4 walks, 4 runs. I mean, obviously, it's still early in the season, and it's only his 4th Major League start. It's still early with him. He's shown the ability to get strikeouts with his ghost fork pitch that everyone's talked about, and his fastball's looking good. Great. He's got to work a little bit better on his off-speed pitches, pitch a little bit more in the zone. He'll get better results. But obviously, through 4 starts of his big league career, it's been a positive.
I agree. I mean, although you and a lot of other Mets fans, you expected so much from this guy. I mean, yes, he hasn't been like the Shohei Ohtani. He hasn't been able to, play 2 positions or even pitch perfect games. But I definitely think this season will be one of the seasons where he gets a perfect game. I could see it. Yeah,
definitely. And also, Senga's been important for another reason for the Mets is that he's been healthy. 4 of their 5 projected starters into the year are hurt or suspended. We're talking about Scherzer because he just got recently suspended. So really, Senga being on the mound is a good thing for the Mets.
About that Scherzer thing, I want to touch on that. I know I didn't write it in here. I want to touch on that. And what I want to say is that, Max Scherzer, that was definitely uncalled for. I don't think he had a foreign substance, illegal substance on him. I think that was strictly the umpire's fault right there. I mean,
definitely.
He had a good alibi to get him back into, like, when I don't know if you saw the report, when they interview. I saw the interview, and it seemed like he was very innocent. He knew what he was talking about. He knew what he was doing, and I don't think that it was right to suspend him, especially for 10 games. It should have been at least for the rest of the game, but for 10 games, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it was definitely weird, an overreaction by the umpires in Major League Baseball. Really weird, but you know what? They have to get past it and have to push through it at this point because they're not going to take their suspension away. So they just got to keep winning games. Hopefully, gets back on the mound, pitch well, and that's all you can really ask for at this point.
And I think when Max, maybe this is a good thing. As of a lot of Mets fans, look at this in a positive way. I mean, when he comes back, he's going to be up and running again. Matter of fact, because he got this 10-game suspension, he can rest. He can get healthy again, so that when he comes back, he is an absolute stud. And plus, Justin Verlander will be back in the lineup then.
Definitely.
So it's definitely going to help the Mets. Definitely, really good in the starting rotation. Now, what's your thoughts on this whole series? How do you think the Mets are going to play out for the rest of the series? They did get the win last night, going up against the Giants, who are not doing well in the NL West right now. What's your thoughts? How can they secure this W?
I think that they're going to split the series. I think they're going to take 2 out of 4. I just think that they have a guy who hasn't pitched in a while, and Joey Lucchesi going today. They have another one of their younger pitchers going on Saturday. So I just think that they might lose the next 2, but I think they can squeeze out a win in the last one and go 2-2 in the series.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's kind of how it goes in baseball. It's hard to sweep a series nowadays, especially when you can swap out your players and stuff like that. One good pitcher is going to be on the mound for this day. I mean, when they get Logan Webb on the mound, you're not going to be expecting to win that game. But you definitely can win most of the games against the Giants, especially in San Francisco. So we're now going to head on to the playoffs, but we're going to start with the hockey before we move to the basketball. So to start off, Maple Leafs dominated the Lightning 2-7 in Tampa. I mean, what a game this was. I mean, we got a star goalie for the Lightning right now going up against the Maple Leafs, the Maple Leafs, they always have tough luck playing Tampa. And considering that they won by that much, it's really looking interesting. I think sports all around is interesting right now with how everything's playing. I mean, who knew that Tampa will be falling down a little bit in this series? Rangers took the W facing the Devils 5-1. Another crazy. I remember I told you guys the last time we were on here that the Rangers are not going to do well against the Devils. I thought the Devils were going to surpass the Rangers. I don't want to keep my hopes up here, but the Rangers are already up the Devils 2-0 in the series, and this is absolutely surprising. Devils, towards the end of the season, were phenomenal. They were on like a 5-game win streak before the playoffs, and now they're losing to the Rangers. So let's talk about it. Chris Kreider is back. Chris Kreider is finally back. This guy was not doing anything the last time we were on here. This guy was doing nothing. He only had 1 shot on goal and nothing else. Finally, he was able to put 5 shot on goals, allowing himself to have 2 goals. And I think that's amazing to have. Chris Kreider, he's back. Another veteran on the Rangers. And another guy is Patrick Kane. I think ever since Patrick Kane got traded to the Rangers from the Blackhawks, I just feel like the Rangers' entire team has just been turned around in a really positive and crucial way. I don't think if they acquired Patrick Kane, I do not think that it would be as easy to beat the Devils, especially in the playoffs, in playoff pressure. And especially when it's it's at home and then you go to New Jersey to play the Devils. It's a lot of pressure riding on people like Kane, but they're able to stick with it and get the win. So I just feel like without Patrick Kane, it would be super hard for the Rangers to actually surpass the Devils. But they're doing perfect. So Jack Hughes, my thoughts on Jack Hughes. I mean, this guy, I feel really bad. This guy, they interviewed him after the game. They interviewed him, and I want to say that he was not happy. He was frustrated. He got 6 shot on goals, and not 1 went in. And I just feel like this guy feels like he's the only one out there doing something. He's the only aggressive, player on the ice right now. I just feel like everyone else needs to step up and help Hughes because this is the only guy that can do something. And the Devils being only able to score 1 goal off Shesterkin, right now, I feel like the Rangers are going to sweep the Devils. And I did not think this would happen at all. But that's what I think. So yeah, my thoughts on the series. Well, seeing the Rangers take the 2 games of this 4-game series, I just feel like the Rangers are going to sweep. I mean, the Rangers right now, Shesterkin, Kreider going crazy, Patrick Kane, I just feel like the Rangers are definitely going to take this one. Kraken took the L facing the Avalanche in Denver 3-2. Golden Knights slapped the Jets 5-2. Not surprised. I just feel like the Jets actually the Jets beat the Golden Knights 5-2. What a good win that was. I mean, considering the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, who are these guys? They're going in Las Vegas to play against the hard-hitting Golden Knights, who are in first in the Western Conference. Being able to win by 3 goals is crucial to have. They're going to take it back in Winnipeg after tonight's game in Vegas. It's going to be a good game to watch. Mark Stone for the Jets had 5 shot on goals with 2 goals. Mark Stone, an absolute stud. What a good face of the Jets franchise this guy is. I just think the Jets are going to keep it close, but I still think the Golden Knights are going to hold out and beat them. Series is so far tied right now, 1-1. So that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to keep it close, but I feel like the Golden Knights are going to take it back in Winnipeg. And last thing we want to talk about, the Golden Knights, they sabotaged the Jets training room. I don't know what happened, but apparently the training room was like a lot of stuff was happening in the Jets locker room. Golden Knights were sabotaging it. Do I think it's right? No, but it's hockey. Everyone's aggressive. Everyone's mean towards each other, so expect that. And yeah, so I'm going to go with my hockey predictions now before we get into NBA. Now, this is not really a surprising prediction right here. I think a lot of people have this prediction. I have the Avalanche beating the Kraken. I have the Stars beating the Wild. It's going to be Avalanche Wild in round 2. I think Golden Knights are going to beat the Jets to head on to face the Kings. The Kings are going to beat the Oilers. And then I think that Avalanche are going to beat the Stars. It's going to be Avalanche, Golden Knights for the conference final. Golden Knights winning, going to the Stanley Cup final. And as for the Eastern Conference, I think the Bruins are going to crush the Florida Panthers. Lightning are going to beat the Maple Leafs. I think the Hurricanes going to beat the Islanders. Rangers are going to beat the Devils. I got Rangers beating the Hurricane. Rangers, I got them going all the way. I mean, last year they choked to the Lightning in the conference final, but hopefully this time they don't. I got Rangers beating the Hurricane, and then I got Rangers I got Rangers Bruins conference finals. Bruins beating the Rangers. It's going to be Bruins Golden Knights. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? I think the Boston Bruins. I mean, they have an incredible record right now. They're literally 25 wins ahead of their losses. That's insane. Bruins are going to dominate the Golden Knights. As that's going to wrap it up for hockey, we're going to head to the fun stuff now. The NBA. I mean, this is where all the debate comes from, and the arguments between me and Mickey comes from this NBA world. I mean, there's so much happening right now in the NBA. So let's get right into it. 3 games happened last night, and we're going to talk about it. 76ers beat the Nets 102-97. Man of the game was Mikal Bridges, having 26 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, this is the only guy doing something out there. I mean, where is everyone else on the court? I mean, Seth Curry isn't showing up. Mikal Bridges, where would the Nets be if they didn't acquire Mikal Bridges? Definitely not in the playoffs. What's your thoughts?
Well, I definitely think that the Nets are in the playoffs because of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And then they just played 500 ball the rest of the year, and they got in basically because of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And that's not to say that Mikal Bridges isn't great. He looks like a future star in the making. But if I think the Nets are going to make the playoffs next year, no, they're not going to make the playoffs next year unless they get some new additions that we don't know yet.
Well, it's all about chemistry. You know what I mean? You got to understand that we got Finney Smith, Mikal Bridges. We got 3 guys from 3 different teams joining this one Nets team, hoping to find this chemistry with each other, get the assists, get the rebounds. It's not working out. And when you go up against the 76ers, who have, they've acquired a lot of trades from around the world of the NBA, but at least they've been together for a long time to acquire this chemistry. Like Joel Embiid, James Harden, they've been on the same team for a long time now, and they're kind of used to playing with each other. What's your thoughts on the James Harden suspension? He got suspended last night.
Terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
It just sucks for him, and it sucks for the 76ers.
I think he'll be back, though, so I wouldn't worry about that. But it's definitely a big beat, for the 76ers. And another injury happened. Joel Embiid got injured last night, but he was able to shake it off and say, all right, I'm going to be out. I'll be able to continue to play the game. So hopefully Joel Embiid doesn't get injured. But that leads me to the question of, will he get injured again?
I mean, I don't know.
He's a tall guy. Every tall guy in the NBA gets injured.
That's true. Definitely more high risk.
So, what's your thoughts? And now the last question is about the Nets 76ers. What's your thoughts on this series?
I think the Sixers are going to beat the Nets handily. It's going to be a gentleman's sweep. 5-game series, really. It's going to be easy for the 76ers.
They take it back to Philadelphia next game, so it's definitely going to be really hard for the Nets to really bounce back into the series. I think the 76ers are going to win as well. Warriors finally won 114-97. I mean, at first we saw the Kings dominate. They were up 2-0 in the series. Nobody was showing up for the Warriors besides Steph Curry. And we're going to talk about Klay Thompson not showing up. But, I mean, the Kings winning in Sacktown, it's predictable. We knew that would happen, and we were not surprised that the Warriors took another game last night in Golden State. Now, this is probably one of the most controversial rivalries that we've seen. I mean, Sacramento haven't been in the playoffs in such a long time.
Since 2006.
A while. So them being able to be on top of the Warriors right now is amazing. I look at the fans. Where have all these fans came from? I mean, these are some loyal Sacramento fans watching some Kings basketball.
I mean, it's simple. If your team's bad, attendance, they're not going to show up. When your team's good, attendance shows up. Really as simple as that.
Where were the Kings a couple seasons back? Now, the question I have is on the Warriors side. Should Draymond Green have been suspended after, stepping on Sabonis?
Should he have been suspended? Should he have been suspended for the whole series? No. Should he have been suspended a game? Yes. He definitely had to be
I think he should have been suspended for the entire series. I don't like Draymond Green, and the reason why I say this is because you can avoid. I get he laid on him. All right, he fell on him. He didn't know that he was underneath him. But finding him attached to your leg and just stepping on him, come on.
Yeah, I know.
That is
I know
not
it's
right.
bad.
You could have avoided that.
But at the same time, is it any different than any other controversy in the end? Has there been any suspension more than one game? I would like to know that.
Okay, but you can also know this. He was taunting with the fans. Laughing, getting in the ref's face. I mean, that is. I feel like if he did not get in the ref's face or taunt the fans, he would have been in that game for the rest of the game. He would have not gotten ejected. What got him ejected is not him stepping on his chest, but rather screaming at the ref's face and screaming at all the other fans in attendance. You can't agree. You can't say that he doesn't deserve to be suspended for doing that. Stepping on someone and then just being like, oh, yeah, he's out of the game.
Yeah, but it's sort of typical Draymond, though. So, I don't know. Maybe a couple more games, but the entire series seems a little harsh. But that's just me.
He doesn't even do anything to be, you know what I mean? He's not even that good of a help. He's not even that good. What's the point? It's not Steph Curry here. Should fans be seeing more of Klay Thompson?
Yes. They should be seeing more of Klay Thompson. He's got to play better. Especially since Draymond, missed a game, and Curry is, here's the thing. When you have one guy you want to target, it's going to be easy to beat that team. So they need Klay Thompson to show up to give them another option. If he does not show up, they're not going to win. And also, the Kings are a better team than the Warriors. Let's be honest. They're a better team than the Warriors with Fox and Sabonis and Harrison Barnes. They got a really good team. And they've shown throughout the whole year that they've played winning basketball. They're a better team than the Warriors. If Klay Thompson doesn't show up, they're not going to win this series.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Warriors are going to be able to beat the Kings because, like I said, the Kings are up by 2. Let's hypothetically say that the Warriors are going to beat them in San Francisco, right? They're going to bring it back to Sacramento. And when you bring it back to Sacramento with those loyal fans, you're going to be in that environment and atmosphere again, and you're going to be losing again. So I definitely think the Kings are going to surpass the Warriors and move on. And I think the Kings are going to go far in the playoffs, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, Sacramento up 2-1. I think we all know that it's going to be Sacktown all the way. And lastly, Suns defeated the Clippers 129-124. We could talk about this as well. Clippers are another loyal team like the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they want it just as much. I feel like, we have Russell Westbrook, we have Paul George, we have Kawhi Leonard. I mean, these guys, the thing is about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is that they're in and out of the game constantly.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi Leonard just missed the last game. That was kind of the reason why the Suns beat him, because there was no Kawhi Leonard. He needs to play unless the Clippers are going to win. It's that simple.
I think the Suns are going to win because, like I said, just like the Kings Warriors, they're going to take it back to, what is it called? They're going to take it back to Phoenix, and that's when they're going to beat the Clippers. And also, about the Suns, they have Durant, they have DeAndre, and they got tall guys in the paint. You don't see any tall guys for the Clippers. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of tall guys, and there's not a lot of guys that can, rush the paint. There's not a lot of chemistry between the Clippers compared to the Suns. The Suns, with Chris Paul wanting to win his first NBA title, I mean, it's going to be hard to face that. So I think the Suns are going to surpass the Clippers. And before we get to the Oakland A's new facility and new stadium, we're going to talk about our predictions real quick for NBA. So to start off, I definitely have the Kings beating the Warriors.
I have that too.
I would touch on the Celtics, but I want to talk about this as well. I got Nuggets beating the Timberwolves. It's going to be Nuggets versus the Suns. Kings going up against the Grizzlies. And then I got this is hard. I got Nuggets beating the Suns, sorry to say. Because it's weird. The Nuggets are a weird team because they can be really good, but then we've never seen them in the finals.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
So I got Nuggets beating the Suns, going to the conference finals. I got Kings. I think it's gonna be Nuggets, Kings. Kings going to the finals. Actually, oh my God. I actually had Nuggets going to the finals.
Are you changing it midair? Are you changing it now?
No, I'll keep it. I have Nuggets going because that was what I originally had. I have Bucks going up against Cavaliers.
Cavaliers. All right.
I got 76ers, damn up 3-0. 76ers facing the Celtics. Celtics winning. It's going to be Celtics Bucks conference finals. Celtics Nuggets in the finals. Celtics choke and the Nuggets win because that's what they always do.
All right. Here's my final prediction. I won't go through that, but my final prediction is that it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Sacramento Kings, and the winner of the series will be the Sacramento Kings.
Okay,
it's their year. It's their year. It's Sacramento's year this year.
Why would you say they're playing the Knicks? You're a Knicks fan. You just have them just beating you have the Cleveland beating your team and just going all the way to the finals?
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting.
I do.
Well, the last topic we want to touch on is the Oakland A's moving to Las Vegas. As we know, so far the Aviators, the AAA team of the A's, they are in place of the Oakland A's farm system. And matter of fact, they have a better stadium in Vegas than they do in Oakland. But yeah, I think this is a good move that they have. I mean, I've been to Oakland. It's just, I don't know. The stadium's falling apart.
They definitely needed a new stadium, but I felt like that the A's ownership didn't try enough to keep them there. I mean, they didn't have a good team. I mean, it's simple. As we said before, attendance equals, winning teams. And if they don't have a winning team, you're not going to have attendance. So I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think they should have done a better job of making a better ball club.
It's a big stadium too. I mean, this is one of the biggest stadiums in the league, believe it or not. I mean, compared to the Blue Jays Stadium, I mean, they're roughly two big stadiums. It's just kind of crazy how maybe a decade ago fans were packed those seats. A's were good. Early 1990s, everyone's showing up, but now it's like no one's going there. And as for someone who's been to the Coliseum, it's falling apart. I mean, honestly, the broadcasters found a possum in their broadcasting booth.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ever since then, they're like, all right, well, we're done.
Yeah.
Moving out. I think 2027, they're going to be officially in Vegas. And I think this is a good move. All around, it's a good move. So I'm pretty sure you think the same thing. The question is, where's the Aviators going to go? Because the Aviators are the AAA team of the Athletics, and they're in Las Vegas. So are they going to switch places, funny enough?
I don't know.
Or are they going to move somewhere? I guess we're going to have to find out. But I think this is a good move. The A's stadium is just falling apart. And the money that's going to go into this facility, this big stadium, I think there's going to be a lot of fans in attendance. I mean, you put Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play in Vegas, and everyone's showing up to that. So I think this is a good move. Vegas is a great place to have it. They're kind of copying the Raiders. And, if the Raiders move out of Oakland, because they used to play in the same stadium, Raiders move out of Oakland, that's it. Also, that's really all I got to say. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys for tuning into the Sports Grind, Season 4, Episode 15. Again, my name's Tyler Logo.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And, yeah. Bye.